What would you feel if I tell you there are 150,000 Bitcoin worth nearly $3 billion could be dumped onto the market? Well, this is nearly twice the amount of Bitcoin that Luna Foundation Guard had at its peak. Some are labeling this as the biggest black swan event in the history of Bitcoin. If you are in the crypto industry long enough like myself, I am pretty sure you must have heard about Mt-Gox. Well, this was one of the biggest Bitcoin exchange back in the day. Back in 2012-2013, it was handling more than 70% of the total crypto market volume. If you compare that to today, it's like a combination of Binance, Coinbase, FTX and Kraken. All 4-5 major exchanges together make that kind of volume nowadays. And Mt-Gox was that big. But unfortunately, 8 years ago, it was hacked and 850,000 Bitcoin was stolen from Mt-Gox exchange. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Mt-Gox. A fascinating story about lies, hacks and deceit. If you have Bitcoin or for that matter any cryptocurrency, I'm pretty sure you should not miss this video. So sit tight, grab your popcorns because it's going to get really interesting. So before getting into the story, if you appreciate this kind of fascinating stories about crypto or for that matter personal finance, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more future videos. Before getting into the details, firstly some history lessons. Mt-Gox was originally founded back in 2006 by Jade McCaleb. But why such unusual name? In 2006, there was no cryptocurrency. Bitcoin was invented in 2008 by Satoshi, as you know. So back in 2006, there was no cryptocurrency in the market. So Mt-Gox was founded in 2006 by Jade McCaleb to trade Magic the Online Gathering cards. Hence the name Mt-Gox. That is the reason. The site only operated for a few months before Jade moved for other interests. Years later, back in 2010, he learned about Bitcoin and found it interesting, and he developed some interest in Bitcoin. He spotted a gap in the market that there is no good place to buy and sell or an exchange to buy and sell Bitcoin at that time. Since he had that Mt-Gox.com domain under his control, he decided to launch the Bitcoin exchange Mt-Gox.com under that same domain. That's how Mt-Gox was born. After running the exchange for just 10 months, Jade decided to sell the exchange to Mark Karpeles at a valuation of just 6 months of revenue. After just a few months under Mark's leadership, the exchange almost doubled its daily transaction value or transaction count to almost 20,000 transactions per day. Bitcoin was trading at around $1 per Bitcoin at the time. Imagine buying Bitcoin at the time. But it was not at all a smooth sailing for Mt-Gox. According to some analysts, in June 2011, Mt-Gox has reported that 25,000 BTC was robbed from a compromised computer. At that time, it was around $400,000, but now at today's valuation, it is approximately $525 million. The attacker then used artificial trading activity to cause the price to temporarily plummet from $17 to a penny, scooping up additional 2,000 Bitcoin in the process. In the years following, Mt-Gox has a lot of controversies such as accidental transaction log forking in March 2013. That caused a 23% drop in Bitcoin price in a single day. Then they suspended trading in April 2013. That caused a 50% drop in Bitcoin price in a single day. Nowadays we panic after seeing a 5 to 10% drop. Imagine a 50% drop in the price of Bitcoin in a matter of days. Then they faced some $75 million lawsuit from US Department of Human Services. Then they suspended withdrawal of Bitcoin in June of 2013. So they had their fair share of issues. But despite all these issues, the trading volume on Mt-Gox continued to explode. It was by far the biggest cryptocurrency exchange at that time, handling well over 80% of all volume of Bitcoin across all the exchanges. More than 80% total volume of Bitcoin. Just imagine that. Compared to today's term, it will be like Binance, Coinbase, FTX and Kraken, all 4 big exchanges combined. It was that huge. In December 2013, Bitcoin hit an all-time high of $1,000 for the first time. Mt-Gox's revenue also hit an all-time high at that time. But then the unthinkable happened. By February of 2014, customer complaints were mounting. People were experiencing delays while withdrawing Bitcoin. On the 7th of same month, Mt-Gox officially suspended withdrawals, citing the reason that they need clear technical view of the currency processes. On the 10th, they admitted to finding a bug in the code of Bitcoin. This was actually an issue in their exchange code. Due to that issue, a person was able to send duplicate transactions. Basically, what was happening is that, let's say person A, let's say I have 1 Bitcoin. Due to this bug, I was able to send the same 1 Bitcoin to 10 different persons. So those 10 different persons, each of them will have 1 Bitcoin. Just imagine if that kind of issue was there today. For the next 2 weeks, angry customers were left in the dark, unable to withdraw their Bitcoin. On the 17th of the month, CEO Mark came and held a narrative that Mt-Gox should be able to resume withdrawal soon. However, just 3 days later, Mark resigned from the board of the Bitcoin Foundation, shortly followed by Mt-Gox removing all their Twitter posts. Subsequently, their website also went offline. On February 24th, a crisis management document was leaked. In that document, it was revealed that Mt-Gox was insolvent after losing an estimated 850,000 Bitcoin. Today, that's worth nearly 18 billion US dollar. That is like 4% of the total Bitcoin supply of 21 million. 4 days later, Mt-Gox officially filed for bankruptcy. They finally admitted to losing 750,000 Bitcoin of their customers and 100,000 Bitcoin of their own. Remember the 2011 hack that I mentioned earlier? Well, it turned out that Mt-Gox's private key was compromised during that 2011 hack. It was unencrypted. We don't know how the hackers got into this key, but conspiracies are that there is some insider involvement in that hack as well. Here is where things get really interesting. Back in March of 2014, Mt-Gox released a statement that they found back to 200,000 Bitcoin out of the lost 850,000 Bitcoin. In 2015, Tokyo District Court has appointed Nobuaki Kobayashi. I'm really sorry if I slaughtered that name. So Tokyo District Court has appointed Nobuaki Kobayashi as the rehabilitation trustee to oversee the reconciliation of the creditors. Basically, he will undertake the responsibility to give those 200,000 Bitcoin back to the creditors or the customers. Meanwhile, the CEO Mark Karpeles that I mentioned before, he was arrested for fraud and embezzlement back in August 2015. It was found that he manipulated the Mt-Gox computer to display wrong balances for user account. That way, he stole almost $2.5 million worth of user funds and used that for personal use. He is currently serving 30 months in prison. For many years, the Mt-Gox situation stagnated as a result of lengthy legal proceedings and investigations. But in November 2021, Mt-Gox and the Tokyo District Court formalized an official rehabilitation plan. This plan outlines the intent to pay the creditors or the customers. This brings us to present day. On July 6th of 2022, all the customers received an email from Mt-Gox. The email stated that the rehabilitation trustee is currently preparing to make the repayments. Finally, it seems like all those people who lost all their Bitcoins back in the 2014 hack is going to get something back. The rehabilitation trustee is responsible to make the payments back. Customers get their funds back. As per the balance sheet, they currently hold 140,000 Bitcoin valued roughly at around $3 billion at current Bitcoin valuation. Customers have option to receive funds in either Bitcoin or in US dollars or in Bitcoin Cash. I don't know why someone will take Bitcoin Cash after it got so much beater in its price, but they have these three options: US dollar, Bitcoin, or in Bitcoin Cash. It is estimated that the creditors will start receiving their funds as early as August of 2022. Many people are panicking. Because of this, many people are panicking that the release of these funds, almost 140,000 worth of Bitcoin, is going to create a huge supply of Bitcoin into the market. And some people might decide to dump, which will significantly impact the Bitcoin price. Although the prospect of 3 billion Bitcoin hitting the market seems bad, really bad for the price, but we must keep few factors in mind. Firstly, not all creditors or the customers will sell their Bitcoin. Some will still continue to hodl. They have already seen multiple cycles. Remember, from 2013, they saw 2017 bull run and to 2021 bull run. So they have already seen multiple cycle and lower BTC prices. They saw Bitcoin trading at 65,000. Why they will sell Bitcoin at $20,000? This is probably close. We are probably close to the bottom of this market cycle. Why they will sell their Bitcoin at this low price? Think about it. Many of the creditors who desperately wanted to sell would have already likely been bought by other bigger funds, or they might have adjusted their crypto portfolio by now. It's like 7-8 years. The biggest argument for customers not selling would be psychological. They were forced to hold an asset for many years and have seen massive returns. BTC is so much more proven an asset now than it was compared to back in 2013. BTC is a much more risk-free investment at 20,000 than it was in 2013 at $1,000. As now publicly listed companies like MicroStrategy, sovereign nation states like El Salvador have started to buying Bitcoin, there will be only continuously more and more adoption of Bitcoin and crypto overall as the time goes. So it is, in my humble opinion, it is very unlikely that the majority of those customers who will be getting their funds back would decide to sell. But purely for argument's sake, let's say all that $3 billion worth of Bitcoin hits the market at the same time. Would that crash the market? Crash the Bitcoin price? Probably yes, in the short term. Recently, Luna Foundation Guard dumped its 80,000 Bitcoin. Then Three Arrows Capital was forced to spot sell billions of Bitcoin. Then the miners are continuously selling huge amounts of Bitcoin to stay afloat. So out of the 140,000 Bitcoin, realistically, let's say 50% of that gets sold in the market. That is like 70,000 Bitcoin. It would be like another Luna event. That might push the Bitcoin price down to $16,000 range from current 20,000. But I'm pretty sure it will not stay there for long, because as you guys know, almost $150 billion worth of stablecoin is waiting on the sideline to be deployed into the market. So as soon as Bitcoin gets into those levels, people will be putting in their stable coins. They will be deploying their money to buy the dip. That's my opinion. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think those people will sell their Bitcoin at 20,000, or they will wait for Bitcoin to hit 100,000, 200,000, or potentially $1 million in future? They are much more experienced than us. They bought Bitcoin in 2010, 11, 12, 13. Means they know much more than us about this. I would look forward to your comments. What do you guys think? Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you guys appreciate this kind of informative analysis video of different crypto and financial topics, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Also, don't forget to share this video with your crypto and finance enthusiast friends and family members. Till next time, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.